G'day to all you blokes and Sheilas out there. This is Gareth Price of the Sinister Siblings, coming back with sort of recorrection in response to my previous video that was about Superwoman, who admittedly is not super racist, but that last video she made that I responded to was how can I say, completely non-recisive, really. But what can you expect? So I'm making this in sort of a context effect that yes, I admit that I had a few wrong ideas of how to respond to it. I'm sort of new towards facing off against, things like SJWs or people who blow things out of context. Alright, I'm still trying to work on that. Give me at least a couple of months of practice and I might be able to get up to, I don't know, whose sort of standards. I know I can't get up to bearing or Sargon of Akkad yet, but I'll keep trying. Now, I decided to re-watch her video, and there were a couple of points that actually stood out to me. One was when she was responding to that comment, which I can obviously tell has to be a troll comment. Either that or someone who is confused with Asian cultures, because she thinks they mean them all the same there. By the sounds of it, the guy was trying to look for, and completely failed in looking for, commas. Because, as she even pointed out in the atlas/globe, whichever one it is, I've forgotten the details now, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and India are actually side by side. And when she says American, Aussie, Brit, you were talking about three completely different parts of the world. How does that add up? Then when you say how does they're all white trash trailer, how can you compare an American to a Brit in terms of culture, or an American to an Aussie in terms of culture and society? How? You can't. They have similarities, but not exactly the same. We very rarely have people who drive around in trailers. Most of the time they're driving around full-on caravans and other stuff like that, but that's when they're going on full road trips. And Australia is a pretty big place. Admittedly. Another point was when she said that if every Muslim became a terrorist, we wouldn't stand a chance. Well, that point is a bit part and parcel at the moment. One, we could, be absolutely doomed if all of Islam was banned under one area, but there's the problem. Islam isn't. Islam at the moment seems to have so many different factions, there are too many to count. I know some very good Muslims who don't want Sharia law and other stuff like that, and there are pro-ISIS, pro-Sharia law, pro-anti-LGBT, then there are pro-LGBT, social configuration. I completely forgot the meaning of that word now. I mean, social conformity. Then there are those who are pro... whatever, really. There are pros and cons. The problem is that there are so many of them, even in those areas there. There are so many people in those areas that can't agree with people of other areas of Islam. So, in terms of Superwoman's case, if every Muslim became a terror, sort of terrorist-like hostile, then for people of my race, for the most part there, just sit back and watch, really. If every faction of Islam became absolutely terrorist-level hostile, you would watch as Islam itself drops from over 2 billion people to just barely over 10 million. That's it. There would be so many. Thank you again for the comment that I've already seen. There would be so many different factions so hostile to each other that essentially Islam would, and it even is now at the moment, destroy itself. Alright? So in one case, if they all put themselves together as one united Islam, then yes, we wouldn't stand a chance. But considering the fact they are so separated and most of the factions there can't even, can barely agree on everything or anything at all in terms of other factions, we wouldn't have to worry. So yeah. I'm admitting that I did go a bit out of proportion with most of a few of the points that I made. I will admit there that in some of the points that she made there, I tried to turn her own words against her. As you can see there, that failed miserably. But, what's done is done. You can't change it. I'm not deleting the video because I know the mistakes I've made, and I'm going to leave it up there as a reminder of my mistakes. Oh, she is persistent, this one. Heavenly Hair.